Welcome to the deep dive, where we take your sources and really try to unearth the most valuable insights.
hmm
Today, we're diving deep into, well, the 14th and final step in refining the mind. This is all based on the Gita for Joyful Living excerpts you've shared with us.
That's right.
And this isn't just, another step. It feels like the pivotal stage, maybe the gateway to this profound state of being we're aiming for, where that door to joyful living really opens up.
Indeed. And our mission today is really to unpack Vedantic meditation, not just a surface look, but, what is it? And critically, why is it still needed? Even after you've supposedly gained deep self-knowledge,
Right.
we'll look at its two stages, how it actually works, and maybe the most important part, what it means to genuinely complete this practice.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff because the source material, it really suggests that once this step is done, life fundamentally shifts. So for this deep dive, we're focusing squarely on the how. How do you actually do this final refinement? And then, just so you know, in our next deep dive, we'll explore how life itself transforms afterwards.
A crucial follow-up.
Definitely. So let's get into it. Okay, so step 14. We've arrived. Our sources say at this point you've got complete self-knowledge. Your intelligence is firmly rooted in that understanding.
Yes.
But here's the bit that really grabs me and feels almost, backward.
Mhm.
Why do you still need Vedantic meditation if you already know what's left?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it really gets to the absolute core of this final stage.
Mm.
The sources explain that while your intellect, your understanding might be totally solid, your mind, well, might not be quite there yet, not fully rooted in the same way.
Oh, okay.
It's about closing that gap
Mhm.
between intellectually getting it and truly living it, integrating it so deeply that it actually changes how you experience everything.
I see.
And there are basically two main reasons why the mind lags behind. And each reason gets its own specific focus in the two stages of Vedantic meditation.
Okay, two reasons, two stages. Let's take the first one then. The sources call it the generic reason. What's that all about? What's this first hurdle?
The generic reason is essentially just the sheer overwhelming force of habit. Think about it. For almost our entire lives, we operate under this deep impression that the world is full of separate things, separate objects, and we are a separate person inside it all.
Right, the default mode.
Exactly. So even after you grasp the essence of Vedanta, this core idea that your true self, Atman, is the only reality and everything else is sort of an appearance and illusion, well, that new knowledge can just slip away. It doesn't stick automatically. You might understand it up here, points to head, but you still act and react as if the old view is true. Yeah. It's just pure habit.
So it's like intellectually you've updated the software, but the old operating system keeps trying to boot up.
Okay.
How do you make that new knowledge really stick then? Feel it.
Precisely. And that's exactly why stage one of Vedantic meditation is so critical. It involves a systematic, deliberate reflection on the true nature of the self, of God, of the universe.
Okay.
It's a conscious practice. You're actively working to embed this new understanding deep down, overriding that old automatic habit of seeing separation. You're literally retraining your perception.
Okay, that covers the general habit. Makes sense. But then there's the second reason, the specific reason. How is that different? Why a whole separate stage for that?
Right, so this one is much more personal. It varies a lot from individual to individual. The specific reason relates to those really strong personal preferences, or you could say attachments. Things that keep driving someone to act as if they're still operating from ignorance, even though they intellectually know better now.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Take someone who maybe spent years striving for name and fame or recognition. They achieve self-knowledge. They understand intellectually that these things are ultimately empty. But they might still feel that internal push, that drive to seek recognition. Maybe they shift to doing social work, which seems noble. But deep down, that old desire for validation might still be fueling their actions.
Ah, I see. So even after realizing there's nothing really to get out there, no ultimate destination to reach, that old momentum, that striving, it just keeps going.
Exactly. It's the sheer force of that past habit, that past conditioning. You keep chasing goals in a world you now know is essentially illusory.
Wow.
The sources have this brilliant analogy, actually. It's like running away from a tiger in a dream.
Okay.
Even if you suddenly realize mid-dream, oh, this is just a dream, that tiger isn't real,
Yeah.
you might still find yourself running for a few more steps. Pure momentum, pure fear habit.
Yeah, I can picture that.
A dream tiger can't hurt you once you know it's a dream, right?
Yeah.
You just stop, turn around, look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, after self-knowledge, There's no need to struggle or strive for those illusory goals.
Hmm.
But the habit persists.
That dream tiger analogy really hits home. We've all felt that, haven't we? Knowing one thing intellectually, but feeling pulled by old patterns, old emotions.
Absolutely.
So how does stage 2 meditation specifically tackle those personal dream tigers? How does it help dissolve those specific individual pressures?
So in stage 2, it becomes very targeted. The
Mm.
individual needs to honestly identify their specific lingering desires or attachments. What still pulls them?
Right.
Is it fame? Is it wealth? Is it a need for control? Or maybe that subtle desire to feel important or needed?
Hmm.
Then, the meditation involves consciously reflecting on the illusory nature of that specific thing. You directly examine it in light of your self-knowledge and systematically withdraw your attention, your energy from it. You divert back to reality, back to the self, using Vedantic meditation as the tool.
It sounds like really precise internal work.
It is. It's about dismantling those last personal strongholds of illusion.
Okay, so we understand why it's needed, even after self-knowledge and the 2 stages. But the practical question remains, how do you do it? What does Vedantic meditation actually involve? What gives it its unique power?
Right, the how-to. Well, what's interesting is that the mechanics might look similar to other meditation practices. Sitting quietly, turning inward, focusing.
Okay.
But the subject matter, the content of the meditation, is laser-focused. It's incredibly specific. You are consciously, deliberately meditating on core Vedantic truths, usually variations on one of 2 themes. Either the world is ultimately an illusion, or I am eternal, boundless consciousness.
So not just clearing the mind, but actively filling it with specific insights.
Exactly. It's about actively strengthening a new, more accurate way of thinking and perceiving, consciously reinforcing the truth.
And that connects to what the sources call old thoughts and new thoughts, right? Can you unpack that distinction a bit for us?
Yes, certainly. So before self-knowledge, pretty much all our thoughts arise from that mistaken identity,
Hmm.
the belief that I am this body, I am this mind, the body-mind complex, as the sources call it. Those are the old thoughts. They come from a place of limitation, of feeling separate and incomplete.
Got it.
After you gain self-knowledge, you become aware of your true nature, boundless, unchanging. Then alongside those old thoughts, which you still need sometimes just to function in the world, like remembering where you park the car,
Right.
you also start having a completely new set of thoughts. Thoughts rooted in the understanding that Atman, the self, is the only true reality, and the universe, with all its objects and experiences, is ultimately an appearance and illusion. These are the new thoughts.
And the aim of the meditation is basically to get these new thoughts to be the dominant ones, to sort of take over the mental landscape.
Ideally, yes. The goal is for these new, liberating thoughts to become your default setting, constantly present in the background, if not the foreground. The old thoughts might still pop up for practical tasks, but they lose their power to define you or cause suffering.
Okay.
Vedantic meditation is the specific tool you use to give power to these new thoughts, to make them stronger, more pervasive.
So during the meditation itself, there's like a battle going on.
You could call it a tug of war, as the sources suggest. The old conditioned thoughts based on limitation will inevitably arise. The new thoughts, based on the truth of Vedanta, also arise.
Mm-hmm.
Your job during the meditation is to consciously side with, support, and strengthen the new thoughts. You deliberately give them your attention and energy time and time again until they naturally dominate.
Okay, that paints a clear picture. It's an active reinforcement process. So
Right.
how do you know when you're done? When is this final, powerful practice actually complete? What's the sign?
The sign is quite profound, according to the sources. This whole deep dive, this final step, is considered complete when the mind itself becomes as firmly and unshakably rooted in Vedantic knowledge as the intellect already is.
And what does that look like? How does it manifest?
At this stage, the sources state very clearly, there will be no more actions. Now, this needs careful understanding.
Yeah, that sounds drastic, like becoming inert.
Not inert in the sense of passivity or laziness, it's much deeper. It means that whatever actions do happen through the body and mind are no longer seen as my actions driven by personal will or desire for a specific outcome. Instead, whatever happens is perceived effortlessly as the work of God, or the natural unfolding of the universe happening through you rather than by you.
Wow. That's a huge shift in perspective. So no more feeling that you have to do things, that sense of personal responsibility or striving just dissolves?
Exactly. The feeling of necessity to act in order to achieve something disappears. Whether that something is personal gain or even serving others or guiding people, the inner compulsion is gone.
So actions might still happen, but the driver is different or absent.
Precisely. The driver of personal desire, egoic striving, or goal setting based on a sense of lack. That's gone. When a person genuinely reaches a state where they are no longer performing actions fueled by those motivations, then, and only then, the sources say, it's time to stop the practice of Vedantic meditation itself.
Because the job is done.
Because the job is done, the integration is complete, the mind is now fully aligned with the intellect's understanding. There's no gap left to bridge. So, if we pull back and look at the big picture here, Vedantic meditation emerges as this ultimate integration tool. It's what takes this incredibly profound knowledge from just being an intellectual concept and drives it right into the very core of your being, dissolving those final remnants of conditioned reactions and habitual perspectives.
It really is the final piece of the puzzle, isn't it? As we've talked through it today, this whole process, step 14, it's the last refinement of the mind needed just before that door to joyful living can swing fully open. It's a fundamental change in how you see, how you feel, how you act, or perhaps how action happens through you.
A fundamental transformation, yes.
So for you listening, maybe consider this. If the endpoint of this path, described in the sources, is a state where you feel absolutely no necessity to do anything for personal gain or outcome, what might that tell you about the nature of true freedom? And maybe, how does that make you look at the purpose behind your own daily actions, right here, right now?
A powerful question to reflect on.
It really is, and we're definitely looking forward to exploring the kind of life that unfolds after this state is reached in our very next deep dive.